Hi, I'm Nikki Lechniak. Welcome to this episode of the 502 Report. Thanks to a joint effort by local developers, preservationists, and the city, the historic Whiskey Row area on East Main Street, once slated for demolition, will now largely be preserved.
After months of negotiation and hundreds of hours of work by many people to facilitate and broker an agreement, I'm really pleased to announce that a tremendous resolution for the historic Whiskey Row block behind me has been reached.
Over Derby weekend, a tentative deal was reached by all parties, one that preserves 5 of the 7 buildings while maintaining the facades of the 2 easternmost buildings. Current owner Todd Blue will use that space for a future business venture.
We all had different complications along the way, but we came together in what probably could be construed as one of the best public-private partnership opportunities that this community has seen.
An investment group headed by Steve Wilson and Laura Lee Brown has agreed to purchase 4 of the 7 existing buildings from Blue for $4.85 million. A 5th building will be given to the Louisville Downtown Development Corporation, which will in turn donate that to the investment group. Brown and Wilson will be the developers, and plans for the buildings are still in the works. The first step is to stabilize the buildings. Pending Metro Council approval, the city will provide a $1.5 million grant to help preserve the facades, work that will begin as quickly as possible.
These architectural treasures, once the epicenter of our historic bourbon industry and once slated for demolition, will be saved and renovated, revealing and preserving all of their grandeur and all of their glory.
As part of the agreement, the city will sell Blue a vacant lot near Floyd and Main Streets for $1, near property his company already owns. The agreement is still subject to several closing conditions and public approvals, but the parties are all working together in good faith and looking forward to closing the deal.
Bring this thing across the finish line. We have a lot of work together, and thank you all for this opportunity.
And for young adults who face difficult times or been abused, one local program and a few horses are making a world of difference.
Scores of young people aged 5 to 25 have been helped through the Boys and Girls Havens Equine program since it began 4 years ago.
It's indescribable, the feeling to wake up in the morning and not have to worry about where I'm gonna be or if I'm gonna eat, because I've got people out here that care. They don't know me from Adam, and they care. They care about me as a human being, and they want to see me succeed.
Their vocational education track not only gives young people the positive benefits of working with horses, but also the skills and certification to work in the equine industry.
I never saw a horse in my life. I saw them driving by the highway in a pasture. And now I'm one of the lead grooms in the barn and a supervisor in training. And so many doors have been opened up to me.
Of the 42 graduates of that program, more than 2/3 are employed, and more than half of them have found jobs in the equine industry in positions such as walkers, grooms, and veterinarian assistants.
Decision making, anger management, and stress relief techniques, which I think all of us can use from time to time. And they work in this program to help equip them with skills and a certification that can help them not only find a job in the equine industry, but in any other field.
For more information on the program or to make a contribution, go to boyshaven.org.
Louisville's downtown area, the 40202 zip code, has grown a lot in recent years, but it still has a ways to go. Recently, the city's downtown was compared with other similarly sized cities throughout the country. Here's how it fared.
In front of a crowd of about 300, Louisville's downtown was compared to other cities across the nation in several key areas as part of the city's first ever State of the Downtown report.
We compete with other downtowns, and we will, and we'll compete hard. And that means we have to work very hard to stay ahead of our competition so that we grow jobs and investment and tax revenue for all of you.
The report was compiled by Paul Coombs, a professor of economics at U of L, who was commissioned by the Louisville Downtown Development Corporation.
You can't manage what you can't measure, and I love to hear that. And when Alan called me a year and a half ago and said, I'm new to town, we believe in measuring things and being transparent, and that's how you get better, boy, it's music to my ears, and so I'm really had a good time with this project.
And while we're doing well in key areas like job growth, Louisville's 12% outpaced 14 similarly sized cities, there are a couple of other areas in particular that need some attention, namely downtown retail and housing.
The market potential is there because of your visitors, because of your workers in downtown. You have the ability to do something if you do it well and you do it right.
Retail jobs have dropped by about 1,000, and Louisville ranks near the bottom of 15 neighboring cities for people living in the downtown area. To take a closer look at the details of the study, go to downtowndevelopmentcorp.org.
Now here's some more news from Louisville Metro.
After the Derby Time races have been run, there's yet another sports event coming to Louisville in May. It's the 72nd Senior PGA Championship. The event will be held at Valhalla Golf Club on Shelbyville Road, May 24th through the 29th, and bring in a crew of visitors and players from around the world.
And I'm excited for our local citizens. We got a lot of great golf fans here who enjoy not only seeing a world championship unfold in their city, but also participating in it as volunteers and watching the competition.
Golfers like Fred Couples, reigning champion Tom Lehman, and Kentucky's very own Kenny Perry, Russ Cochran, and Ted Schultz are among the 156 players eligible to compete.
50 and older feel like they've have nothing else really to prove. They seem to enjoy the game, the competition more. They take it seriously, they work very hard, but they're not maybe quite so wrapped up in the expectations and in the results as they were when they were younger. And you simply just want to go play and play the best you can and have fun and compete.
This year, all kids under 17 will get in free with a ticketed adult. Tickets are available by calling 1-800-PGA-GOLF. The Ford Ironman competition is staying in Louisville for another 5 years. The Louisville Sports Commission and World Triathlon Corporation announced a 5-year extension of their agreement to continue the Ford Ironman competition through 2016.
There are several reasons why Ford Ironman Louisville is so successful. Our natural resources and infrastructure that we have in this community, our people and our culture and the way we know how to embrace big events, and our partners and our volunteers.
This year's Ironman competition, consisting of a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and full marathon, will take place August 28th. A $25,000 prize purse and 65 coveted 2011 Ford Ironman World Championship age group slots are on the line.
From an economic development standpoint, this is one of those things that you can do well by having fun at the same time. Ironman pumps more than $5 million into our economy each year, and obviously with its 10-year run, which ultimately will be at least $50 million, and we hope for it to go beyond that.
Since 2007, Louisville has hosted more than 10,000 professional and amateur athletes and thousands of spectators and volunteers. The world-class event not only brings a significant economic impact to the city, but also aligns closely with Louisville's mission to promote healthy lifestyles for its residents. An extreme makeover is coming to the Belvedere?
8 phases that will make the Belvedere greener and will allow citizens to see up close how all this works, take the mystery out of what a rain barrel is, what the new catalytic paint is, etc.
The large downtown public space that serves as the top of a parking garage will soon feature a green roof, butterfly garden, and a living green wall to help capture stormwater runoff. The MSD project is designed to reduce stormwater runoff that enters a sewer system.
The purpose of these projects is to demonstrate and to quantify the reduction of stormwater into a sewer system so that we don't have to spend more money at the outfall of the sewer system to clean it before it goes to a stream or a creek.
The mayor and MSD director Bud Chardine planted silky aster and slender mountain mint to celebrate the Belvedere's future changes. Construction on the $200,000 Belvedere project has already started and will be completed this fall. It won't impact events like WorldFest or the Greek Festival. Schools, office buildings, and hotels are among the largest consumers of electricity and gas. If they cut back even a small amount of their usage, it can make a real difference.
It is the right thing to do. I mean, I'm just amazed at the children that come up these days, and it's just second nature to them now. All of us have had to learn that. And the number of industries that we hear when we find out the ones that are locating here now, what is some of the things that they're looking for? They're looking for an environmentally friendly city.
That's why companies and organizations were honored by Louisville Energy Alliance and the EPA for their innovative energy conservation measures at an awards lunch recently.
From the EPA's perspective, what you're doing in your existing buildings and designing your new buildings to be efficient, this is one of the #1 places where we can protect our environment in terms of emissions and air quality.
168 buildings competed in this year's contest and saved over 22 million kilowatt hours in 2010. Together, they saved more than 15,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide, which is equivalent to the annual greenhouse gas emissions from nearly 3,000 passenger vehicles and CO2 emissions from the electricity use of over 1,800 homes for 1 year.
Now that it's heating up in Louisville, you might want to take a trip to the Arctic. Louisville's town of Glacier Run, that is. Designed as an imaginary gold mining town on the edge of the Arctic wilderness, the Louisville Zoo's Glacier Run exhibit features polar and grizzly bears and seals and sea lions. And now it's open to the public.
There's never been a more important story that we could tell for our environment as we are with Glacier Run here today.
At Glacier Run, you can get a close-up look at these beautiful creatures, learn about the threats that face them, and what we can do to help.
The progressive loss of the polar bear's sea ice habitat is the result of the unsustainable use of fossil fuels that emit greenhouse gases into the atmosphere at higher levels than we've seen for about 15 million years, and are melting the very habitat that the polar bears depend on to survive.
This wonderful exhibit shows us how making even small changes in our daily habits can make a difference for our planet and for these magnificent species.
1, 2, 3, let's make it official.
Local community members and leaders gathered to celebrate the grand opening of a new retail and office space center on Blankenbaker Parkway near Watterson Trail in Middletown. The $20 million investment is expected to bring hundreds of jobs to the area.
Blankenbaker Center, ribbon cutting day. Congratulations, team. Way to go.
So far, the facility is home to a Commonwealth Bank and Trust and Zaxby's restaurant.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of the 502 Report. Until next time, take care.
Metro TV, a public service of Louisville Metro government.